Welcome to RATETHISGEAR.com. Today I'll be doing a video review of the Everlast Protex3 Elite training gloves. This is the hook and loop version. First and foremost, I'd like to thank BoxingDepot.com for sending me these gloves so I could test them out and do a review for you guys, so I definitely appreciate that. So if you're looking for some equipment, be sure to check them out at BoxingDepot.com. First things first, with this glove here, it's going to be the hate 'em or love 'em type of a glove. This is definitely a glove that's very unique in the way it's molded. It's definitely a unique glove. What I like about this glove is that it gives excellent hand protection. It's very well padded, especially in this area. All the padding is really concentrated around this area, giving you really good protection for your fist, for your hands. This particular version of the glove is the hook and loop closure type, and here is the Velcro strap, which isn't that big, and that's a bit of a drawback for me, especially most of the time. If you're purchasing this type of a glove with this Velcro strap, you're going to be fastening the gloves yourself, and this strap being kind of small, it definitely sometimes could be a little bit of a problem getting this thing fastened all on your own. So you might need some help from time to time. The other thing I like to point out is these three Velcro patches. They look cool, but I don't know if this was such a great idea, in the sense that if you get some, if you keep these gloves in your gym bag, and you're like me and don't take care of the equipment as good as you should, sometimes you throw it around. Maybe some lint, some dust, some material could collect in here, possibly in here, and it could make it kind of difficult for you to strap this in at some point, because it won't hold. So you're really going to have to put some pressure to really get this around. As earlier mentioned, I said that this glove is definitely a unique glove in the way it's molded. It's sort of, when you first put your hand in it, number one, straight out of the box, they're very stiff, very tight. And the glove is molded sort of like this, in an arc. So if my hand is straight, as soon as I put it in, it kind of automatically makes my hand go like this, sort of bends it like this. And if you're looking at the glove, maybe you could kind of tell that, that it's shaped this way, which makes this glove very unique. So some of you may like it, some of you may not. What this does, as I've noticed, is that it makes you turn over on your punches. So when you're punching, it'll give you like a corkscrew type of movement, so it makes it that much more easier to perform, to turn over on your punches. Now that's a great thing if you're learning to turn over on your punches, but if you already had some success and you're very comfortable in punching in your own particular way and it works for you, you may find these gloves slightly uncomfortable, or you may not notice it at all. These particular gloves would work well for people with medium-sized hands, small hands. I don't know about larger hands, but I'm not too sure about that. I don't have the biggest hands. I'm somewhat medium, you know. And one other thing I like to point out is that there's so much padding here, which is a great thing. It makes it kind of difficult to open up your palm. However, you can make an excellent fist with these. The thumb attachment and the thumb design here is pretty good. These gloves are pretty comfortable. Again, it's hit and miss. It might be hit and miss for some of you. The craftsmanship in these gloves, being that these gloves are on the higher end of the price spectrum, this glove here has pretty decent craftsmanship. So Everlast did a pretty decent job with the construction of these gloves. What I would expect out of a pair that's almost $200. So with that said, that's all I could say about the craftsmanship, but only time would tell with Everlast products. This is a 16-ounce pair, and it's fairly light. It's a very compact glove. It's more of a puncher's glove in the way it's really designed, I would assume, while giving you pretty good protection. It does give you pretty good wrist support. It's a little bit flexible here, but it does give you pretty excellent wrist support. One other thing I like to mention about the glove is that it's definitely a unique glove. I'm sure I mentioned this before. The thing before I forget, one other thing I want to mention is that whenever you're punching with this glove, one of the things that was a drawback for me is that since the padding is so concentrated here and it sort of puffs out here a little bit, a lot of times you end up hitting with this part of your fist instead of landing flush on your fist, which I like. you're sometimes hitting this part, the lower fingers here. So that could be a problem for me, and it might be a problem for you as well. I had these gloves for about 2 weeks now, and I've been using them pretty heavily on a heavy bag, and I did some sparring with them. For me, these gloves were okay. I wouldn't say that they're my top choice, again, but that's just my own personal preference. You guys may like them. But like I said, those are some of the drawbacks for me, is the fact that the design sort of automatically makes your hand go like this. A lot of the times you're hitting with this part of the glove, and you just can't seem to hit flush on your knuckles, but it does give you good protection for your hands and your fingers. It's pretty well padded. The padding in this glove is, it's not stiff, it's sort of bubbly, it's soft, and it looks sort of like this glove has been sort of pumped up and squeezed, pressed tightly. So with that said, again, this is going to be a love it or hate it glove. To me, it was a decent glove, but I think that the glove is a little bit too expensive, and I think that there are other greater options that might be available. But nevertheless, this is a glove that maybe you guys should try, and it might work, and you may love it. You know, you may love the glove. So I'm going to call it a review. Again, one thing before I go is I'm going to say that this glove is definitely, you need a lot of time to break this glove in. As mentioned earlier, I had this glove for a few weeks now. I've been hitting the heavy bag and everything with it. So that's pretty much it. Again, I'd like to thank BoxingDepot.com for sending me these gloves. Everybody have a happy and safe holiday. Thanks for the support, and I'll see you next time.